This is the voice of Ergo the bird, who pecks out the eyes of liars and looks at cats with kindness, the bird who stands on top of the pole and admonishes your transgression. I have been spending my time flying around and enjoying the sky, and I spent too much time looking at the moon, and I hadn't noticed that I had flown through a mirror at some juncture into Oppositeland. It has been a long time, not that much of a long time, but quite a long time that we have been around, and we have always, regardless of where we came from, thought that to murder a newborn baby was a really bad thing to do, actually the depths of depravity and impossible to come back from, or at least if somebody wanted to murder the newborn baby, they would make some attempt to hide the murder of the newborn baby. But today, now I have flown through the mirror, everything has changed, and we no longer attempt to hide that we murder the newborn baby. And we say now that, in fact, it is sometimes justifiable to murder the newborn baby, and that this is a new, and I will admit, an expected development in the sinuous path of the human project. When the hysterical, screaming, failed dog portraitist from Germany with the stupid moustache committed his unthinkable industrialized massacre, this horror was kept secret from the innocent world. All of the crimes of glorified Secretary Stalin were perpetrated behind a proverbial iron curtain. In Gaza, in Technicolor, hell is agape. And we watch, jaws agape, and we silently scream, and we say we have seen things nobody should see from the comfort of our daily, immersive, advert-ornamented, amniotic sac. The child with no face puts one off Pepsi. Perhaps even more so than the violence itself, we are shocked by the attempt at justification through obfuscation, doublethink, and the techniques of branding of the massacre of many thousands of children. Not even Herod had this degree of gall. The mask has slipped from the West's face, lathered and lubricated by oil that is the bounty of baby's blood. This baby was cut out of its dead mother. The CPR is delicate but futile, delivered by trembling fingertips. This resets everything. If this can be justified, then what next? Little girl about the same age as my youngest daughter, hanging from a window frame. Her legs are gone. Crying man carrying a plastic bag, thick red oozing from supermarket blue, the remains of his child. Now we have become real sons of bitches. How can we continue? How can we put our feet up and be entertained by miniseries? How can we put on our glad rags and laugh in bars? Let the church towers shudder and peals hail across the valleys and hills, the cities and suburbia, the great ringing of death and of disgrace. Is this the new normal they were talking about? Caw the carrion cry. There are always basic, universal truths. The idea of the post-truth age is itself a lie, because no matter how many images we or a machine learning application can create or regurgitate, we always have the opportunity to realize that reality is not based in images, on paper or on screens, but exists rather in front of us and behind us at the same time. Caw the carrion cry. Down with the post-truth age. There will never be post-truth, because truth is something eternal, no matter what linguistic acrobatics bureaucrats and demagogues attempt to pull over our ears, which ring with unbearable tinnitus from this megacity of Babels, where letters confuse their language, is the daily mantra for maximum distortion, especially for you. used slang in the 1970s was interviewed by William Friedkin and spoke about his atheism. On a personal level, he was happy with this perspective, but regretted the decline of religion in society because, as he said, how will we teach ethics? We now have the first generations in human history brought up without encoded ethics, without moral codes, without myth, without fairy stories. We sanitized and water-filtered fairy tales and folk stories until all the fire and all the folk was taken out because the children can't possibly be exposed to Snow White's final revenge when the wicked stepmother is forced into a pair of red-hot shoes and made to dance till she is dead, or to see poor protagonists rolled down hills in barrels full of nails. Not many people in today's society would want to implant these violent images in the mind of their innocent puppy who will grow to be a good and useful citizen and have a grand and exciting life, and have their friends round for dinner parties and drink coffee, and evacuate into flushing toilets rather than safe zones. But the children in Gaza will get no fairy stories, not because of censorship, or because of arguments about culture wars, or because of overprotective parenting, but because we killed them, and there is no way back.